I've got this really cool multi-tool, and it's got this box cutout thing on it, and I just turn it on and I go, and it takes exactly 2 seconds, I think it's about.
Yeah. But I can do this in the time it takes you to go to the car and get it.
Ah, okay, you win. I also spent like $100, so. Hey YouTubers, it's Don from trueCABLE with Dave Harris as well. We are here to demonstrate something that a lot of folks have asked us about that aren't familiar with installing Ethernet cable inside of walls. Dave was kind enough to mock up a wall for us, a wall cavity, and we're going to show you how to cut into it. And we're also going to show you, you might have noticed these on our website. These are called keystone jacks, and that's a pretty key component, no pun intended, to how this whole thing works. And we have our wall plate. One of the things that comes up quite a bit is when we say you should run it from jack to jack, or or an in-wall installation of your cable. What exactly does that look like? A lot of people have trouble picturing it. So today we're going to actually show you putting in a wall plate with a keystone in it. And it's not a video that's going to address termination or actually fishing cable around, but we will demonstrate pulling a cable out. So the basic things you're going to need is this is what's known as a mud ring. It's a low voltage bracket. It comes with a couple of swing out wings, and it's designed to be put into, in the case of new construction where you don't have a finished wall, you can just go ahead and cut it right in, mount it, and then the painters can come in, paint it. Then you come back later and install your keystone jack and your wall plate. But I'm going to let Dave take it from here and explain some of the tools and the actual process for cutting in for a mud ring.
So, like Don said, this is a mock-up. This is not a full-size wall, but it does have studs here, here, and here, and wall board, which is the way most residential walls are constructed. We are going to put this in the center of a bay. The bay is the area between the studs behind the wall board. We want to put it in the middle of the bay to make sure that we're not interfering with the studs or any cabling that might be coming down and tacked to the inside of the stud. So about in the center. I'm going to measure 18 inches from the bottom of the sheetrock, since we don't have a floor here. About in the middle of the bay. Doesn't have to be perfectly centered. I'm going to make a mark right there. We're going to put this right there, and we can see that this is pretty close to the center. If you can't tell yourself if you're in the center or not, measure. Also, we need to make sure that we have our hole the right size and that it's level and plumb. So if you look at this thing, you see 4 little holes in the corners. Those are for your pencil lead. So I'm going to put this back here, take my level.
You can have with that?
Oh, please.
Yep. This is where a second hand comes in real handy.
So there, there, oops, there, and there. Okay, I can see them.
So far we have a level, we've got a pen, we've got the mud ring, and a tape measure. Those are some things you're going to need.
I'm going to connect these because it's a lot easier to get straight lines if you have lines to follow. So this is a keyhole saw. It's often called a jab saw, sometimes even a drywall saw. It's asymmetric on the end, meaning it's got a blade over here and no blade on this other side, so that when you punch it through the drywall, it's going to cut in one direction only, and that way we don't have to worry about going out of our space here. So I'm going to put this right on the corner. Okay, and I'm just going to slightly tap on this, making sure that I make a little progress slowly, and I can feel when it goes through. I want to stop there because there's a wall back here that I don't want to go through. So try to stay on that line. Although if you go outside the line, you can fix it later, but not if you make the hole too big. always do that. I mean, I always lose my little selvage in the wall. You can't get it back out. Okay, well, we're gonna test the hole here by setting this in and make sure that it fits, make sure it's big enough, and it is. And then we need to make sure that we still can achieve level. There we go. Now it's a matter of tightening these screws so that the wings pull up against the sheetrock.
Yeah, take a careful look at what happened to these wings here. When you start screwing in the wings, they'll pivot, make contact with the inside of the drywall and the inside of the wall cavity. And don't tighten one side down all the way. Do them evenly so that you can keep correcting for level, because it will shift on you. So obviously it's no good if you don't have a cable you can pull out of there and put into a jack or something. So we cut a hole at the very top here, and this would be considered to be the header. But this could actually be like your access from like below, like in your basement, going up too. I've done that before. And you just simply push your cable down. In this case, we're pushing it down. And you'll eventually, I mean, the idea is to catch it in here and see it and pull it through. And you want to pull about 2 feet of slack through.
Now at this point, you take this and terminate it to here. We're not going to show you that because we've showed it to you a whole bunch of other times. Look at the plate and you can see that it says up. That side goes up. This little notch in the bottom of the jack goes down. So this snaps in bottom first. That. Remember the notch goes down. And if it seems like I'm really being tentative, that's because I don't want this thing to slip off and damage the wall. Even though this particular wall was damaged in the first place. You don't want to damage yours.
So in other words, be careful. You don't want to damage your nice paint job if it's already painted. And then from here, you'd simply plug in a patch cable. And then that would plug into your computer. And then the cable that's inside the wall would be running back to your patch panel or to another keystone jack somewhere. And that's what's known as a permanent link. Once you plug in that patch cable into both ends, into both jacks, that's called a channel. So there's a little tip for you, just in case you ever hear me use the word permanent link versus channel. Anyway, we thought maybe you would find that useful to see how this actually goes. A lot of people have a lot of difficulty visualizing it, so I thought maybe a video demonstrating it and would make all the difference in the world. So subscribe to our channel. Please leave us a thumbs up or a thumbs down as you see fit. Leave us comments in the section if you have some good tips and tricks that you like to use. We'd love to hear about it. With that, I'm going to say you have a great day. Happy networking.